Hello and good evening. This is News 360. We are broadcasting live from the News Hub at Adesanwe in Accra. I am Solis Rose Quarting.
And my name is Alfred Okanse. Coming up in the bulletin tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Minority members on Adhoc committee which investigated extortion allegations at the Ghana Expatriate Business Awards released their own report after the committee chairman lays its report before Parliament.
Now, students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism alarmed at directive by council for some top management members to proceed on leave.
Also on the bulletin tonight, convict who escaped serving his sentence at Kumasi Central Prisons rearrested. Meanwhile, 3 police officers who facilitated the escape have also been arrested.
In business tonight, some traders at Agbogboloshi Market in Accra urge government to speed up the implementation of the One Village, One Dam policy to avert importing farm produce and depriving the economy of a huge revenue.
Also, an international from Burundian government deducts money from salaries in order to pay for the country's 2020 general elections.
Well, all these and many more, including entertainment and sports, coming up in the next 60 minutes. Let's start this bulletin with this story. And 10 fraudsters are currently in the grips of the Ghana Immigration Service for duping some prospective applicants who are seeking recruitment. According to the Immigration Service, the fraudsters duped the prospective applicants between 3,000 and 6,000 Ghana cedis to secure them recruitment.
The Immigration Service says these fraudsters operate on social media to dupe their victims. They have successfully and smartly falsified signatures of senior officers of the service to get a field day. Again, they have succeeded in duping vulnerable applicants more than 6,000 Ghana cedis in the hope of getting them jobs. Currently, the Ghana Immigration Service says it has begun investigations and has identified 10 of those fraudsters.
Certain document is going around on social media that has my signature and my name, that I'm signing and issuing out a protocol list. They had my rank wrong on the form, and even my signature is also fake. So these are some of the things that we want to draw the attention of the public to, that they should hold on, they should be patient. When we are done with the second phase, we will shortlist and inform them by SMS. All these calls to their phones and whatever is wrong, is fictitious, and is fraud.
The apprehended fraudsters will soon be arraigned before court for prosecution.
If we are able to lay hands on the faces behind this scam, definitely the law will deal with them. We are only praying hard, but I want to issue out a stern warning to them that very soon the arm of the law will catch up with them.
Meanwhile, the Immigration Service has concluded the marking process for its recruitment exercise. It explained that in the next few weeks, names of qualified and successful applicants will be announced and published.
Let's stay with the Immigration Service, because the Ghana Immigration Service had declined to answer questions as to who ordered the issuance of work permits to the 2 former Guantanamo Bay detainees. The Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Kwame Suatechi, said the Immigration Service was not involved in the negotiation process that allowed the 2 former detainees entry into Ghana.
Already, the 2 former Gitmo detainees have received refugee status. As part of the arrangement, they have been given work permits and other documents to legitimize and regularize their stay. But a cross-section of the public have raised concerns with regard to how they received those documents. There are also lingering questions as to which jobs they are currently involved in and how much taxes they pay, if any. Others have also questioned whether they would be dealt with under UN refugee statutes in case they flout the regulations. The Ghana Immigration Service has come under severe criticism for maintaining absolute silence on the issue. We caught up with the Public Relations Officer Mwakwata on the matter. He even declined to acknowledge the existence in the country.
This issue about Gitmo too, we are told they have a work permit.
I am not privy to any details about the Gitmo 2.
Then we don't have any idea as to who issued a work permit, how they got a permit to work here?
In fact, I can't speak to that.
Why, Mr.
But I do not have any information on Gitmo 2. I don't have any information on them.
That you were not involved in the process?
I can't tell, because it was an issue that was handled by national security involving the top echelon of the national security services. I'm not part of it, and I'm not appraised of any information concerning Gitmo 2, so I can't speak to the issue.
And your boss, Mr. Techi, also
I can't say that. I wouldn't know. I have not received any briefing from him, and I can't speak onto that issue.
We probed further from the Controller General of the Service. He also declined to comment on the matter. Gitmo, so how worried you are?
I said we can answer that. Yeah, we can answer that.
It's something we can answer.
Discussions focused on retooling their patrol teams at the borders and deployment of officers to man missions abroad.
This has explicitly given the service the responsibility of patrolling and managing Ghana's borders, empowering the service and officers within to have the legal mandate to bear arms and also to issue entry visas abroad.
All right, let's do some other stories. And one of the convicts who escaped serving a sentence at the Kumasi Central Prisons has been rearrested. 3 police officers who facilitated the escape of the convicts have also been arrested. Prisoners Emmanuel Kwame Nyante and Frederick Asante were convicted for robbery and sentenced to 11 and 10 years with hard labor on October 12 last year. Preliminary investigations by the police identified Sergeant Che Mensah as the investigator of the case, who aided the escape of the 2 convicts as he failed to take them to the Kumasi Central Prisons to serve their respective sentences. The investigator has admitted to the offense of aiding the escapees. He mentions Chief Inspector Kenneth Kwame Nyante and Inspector William Ama influenced him with 10,000 Ghana cedis to free the convicts. Meanwhile, the Chief Inspector and the Inspector admitted influencing the investigator with the said amount. All the 3 officers are currently in police custody, assisting in investigations. The other convict, Frederick Asante, who is 28 years old, is still at large.
So the former president, John Dramani Mahama, has blamed the top hierarchy of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, for the problems the party is currently facing. Addressing party supporters at Larabanga in the northern region during a weekly branch meeting, the former president observed that the NDC has solid grassroots support, but this cannot be said of the top hierarchy. Here's a report by Zubaida Ismail.
Former President Mahama was accompanied by his former Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, Member of Parliament for the Damanga constituency, Adam Mutawakil, as well as some national and northern regional executives of the NDC. The Larabanga branch has registered about 1,000 members as of January 23, 2018, which Mr. Mahama said was a positive achievement and must be continued to ensure sympathizers become bona fide party members.
Since I started going round, I realized that the problem of our party is not at the grassroots. Our members are firm, united and strong.
He underscored the need for the party to resolve internal wrangling among members, noting that failure to do so would affect the party in the 2020 general elections. The former president said efforts are being made by the party's Council of Elders to resolve all issues within the leadership.
The problem of our party is at the top. I can assure you that those of us at the top, the Council of Elders is doing everything possible to work to bring all of us together so that we all can form one formidable party.
Meanwhile, he has urged party supporters to have faith in the party and stay united in order to ensure victory in the 2020 general elections.
Now, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kumasi Central, has ordered squatters along the Tama Motorway roundabout to relocate to pave way for the construction of the Tama Motorway Interchange at the roundabout. Now, the minister said nothing must hinder the progress of the construction, hence the need to evict the squatters with urgency. A report by Frederick Clarence Williams. The Roads Ministry, acting through the Ghana Highway Authority, received a $30 million Japanese grant for the construction of the first phase of the Tama Motorway Interchange. Addressing the press after inspection of the Tama Motorway roundabout, Sector Minister Kumasi Central said the project will be completed within 28 months. The minister said his outfit would not tolerate indiscipline and reckless behavior of individuals or organizations that would impede the construction works of government projects.
One thing that I have said, and I want to repeat it, is that this is a national project. No individual or group of individuals will be allowed to stand in the way of this project. But whatever is going to be done will be done in accordance with law.
The sector minister and his entourage earlier inspected ongoing improvement works of the Spintex underground tunnel. He said, upon completion of the underground tunnel, it would ease traffic congestion on the Tama Motorway and other adjoining roads. The minister said government puts high premium on value for money and would make sure all government projects were properly executed to specification.
You see the number of cars queuing there, and it tells everybody the difficulties, the pain, the inconveniences, and the discomfort our people are going through on daily basis, particularly during the rush hours in the mornings and in the evenings. I believe that the way you are working, you will deliver this project in good time.
The works engineer of Ghana Roads and Highways Authority, Divine Kewoje, reassured the Minister of Roads and Highways that the project will be completed and open to traffic.
We are left with the approach roads, embankment protection, street light, and the junction works. We are going to meet the timeline because the project itself is 10 months' time. And then we are almost 6 months, and we are even ahead of time, 1 month. So if the minister is urging us to push hard so that we can complete within time again, I think we can do that.
The project, estimated at the cost of 15 million cedis, was expected to be completed by April this year.
Still to come here on News 360, minority members on Adhoc committee which investigated extortion allegations at the Ghana Expatriate Business Awards released their own report after committee chairman. Also, students of Ghana Institute of Journalism are alarmed at directive by council for some top management members to proceed on leave. Stay with us here. The details of these and more coming up. Welcome back to News 360. Now, the Special Adhoc Committee of Parliament investigating extortion allegations on the recently held Ghana Expatriate Business Awards has laid its report before Parliament, and it is to be debated after 48 hours. Meanwhile, the minority members on the committee have released their own report accusing the organizer of the Expatriate Business Awards, Ashim Morton, of forgery. So that is what the minority has actually put out there, indicating that they have their own reservations concerning that original report of the committee that was presented to the Speaker on the floor of Parliament today. They have released a parallel report, and there are many who have raised concerns about this particular decision by the minority to actually do this, Solace. So this is something that's already generating some debate as to what exactly the minority is expecting the members of the general public to do with this particular report, because we've all raised questions about trying people in the court of public opinion, and this has been already released to members of the general public also out there in the media have a copy of this.
That have also been raised is the fact that why did the minority wait for the committee to come out with the original report, then come out with their own report when they're also members of that particular committee?
So we'll bring you a chronology of events in the lead up to the presentation of the report.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation and the Trade and Industry Ministry have been at the center of the controversy over allegations of selling seats at an award ceremony for between $25,000 and $100,000 to some guests with the promise of allowing them sit close to the president. The Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, first made the extortion allegation in Parliament in December 2017. He said the fees charged at the Ghana Expatriate Business Awards, GEBA, were not approved by Parliament, adding that the money did not also reflect in the internally generated funds of the ministry's account. The Trade Ministry, in a statement, clarified it only facilitated the implementation of the initiative by the Millennium Excellence Foundation. The minority moved a motion in Parliament for a further probe into the matter, compelling the Speaker to recall MPs on recess, leading to the constitution of the committee. The presidency cleared the sector ministry of wrongdoing after the Trade Minister Alan Tremartin had responded to President Akufo-Addo's query. On January 11, 2018, the committee began its sitting. The minority MPs who filed and seconded the motion, Muntaka Mubarak and Okudzeto Ablakwa, appeared before the committee as witnesses. Both stood by the allegations. The Trades Ministry, led by the minister and his deputies, who also appeared before the committee as witnesses, affirmed they only facilitated the program. The chairman of the Millennium Excellence Foundation, Ambassador Victor Beho, leading a team of witnesses, denied expatriates were coerced to make payments with a promise of sitting close to the president at the awards. He said monies received by the foundation in connection with the awards were from voluntary sponsorship. On January 16, the expatriate businesses scheduled to appear before the committee failed to appear, and the probe was suspended indefinitely. However, on January 24, it emerged that the committee had an in-camera meeting with the expatriate businesses, who revealed that they were not coerced to pay any monies to sit close to President Akufo-Addo. The last witnesses to appear before the committee was the Controller and Accountant General. The committee is expected to present a report to the House, having determined whether there was any wrongdoing.
I've been joined on the telephone by Dr. Rashid Dramani. He's Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Dr. Dramani, thank you very much for your time and good evening to you. Now, the authors of this minority report on the Cash for Seats saga, James Klucha-Veji and Dominic Ayeni, are hoping that whatever their findings are would be taken into consideration by the Speaker. But what's the procedure, parliamentary procedure, in presenting a report on an issue like this?
Thank you very much, Alfred. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get details of what the majority report is and what the minority report is. But the parliamentary practice...
I'm sorry. We seem to have lost Dr. Rashid Dramani there. We'll try to bring him back on the telephone again to help us understand exactly what the parliamentary process is with this particular situation. Still staying with us here on News 360, and Nanekyo Mensa Brampa is coming up with all the news in the world of business.
It's a long weekend.
Right.
That's something that will make us, weekend better.
Well, the city is stable against all the major trading currencies.
So I can buy some city this weekend?
Good news enough for you.
Fuel prices aren't going up anytime.
Well, it depends. It depends. But I understand you have another interview.
Yes, so, just hold on with that good news from the economy and how the city is performing. Doc, you were making a point. I lost you. If you could continue, what exactly the procedure is or the practice is in Parliament? Hello? Unfortunately, we lost Dr. Rashid Dramani. I must say that he's actually out of the jurisdiction, and that's why we're having a bit of a cranky telephone line. But we'll keep working on it. Thank you.
Well, Alfred, we're talking about one village, one dam, as well as what food security means at Agbogloshi and other parts of the country. So let's take the business news now. Good evening. My name is Nanika Mensah Brampa. Let's settle for the detail. And some traders at the Agbogloshi market in Accra have urged government to speed up the implementation of the one village, one dam policy. Now, they can turn importing farm produce from neighboring countries to augment supply of foodstuffs on the local market, a situation depriving the country of huge revenue. Government in 2016 promised to provide each village in the 3 northern regions with a dam to facilitate irrigation activities to enhance all-year-round farming. However, the promise is yet to be fulfilled. This is gradually impacting negatively on the country's food security. Farmers who depend solely on rain are gradually losing their business.
Farmers here solely depend on rain for irrigation activities. A dam will solve parts of our problems.
Traders at Agbogloshi market in Accra have had to import goods from neighboring countries like Nigeria and Burkina Faso to augment the supply of some food commodities on the market. Ginger, pepper and watermelon are few of the imported commodities. Market women have cited inadequate irrigation mechanisms as the bane for the periodic shortage of goods, especially vegetables, on the market.
There aren't adequate dams in the country. If there were, farmers would have been doing all year-round farming, which would benefit all.
A middle-aged trader is worried that constant importation of goods deprives the country of huge revenue.
We change our currency into CFA before we are able to buy goods outside Ghana. This negatively impacts the city.
Other traders believe locally cultivated vegetables are of superior nutritious value than imported ones.
The local vegetables, especially ginger, is healthier than the imported ones from Nigeria. The exotic vegetables are watery.
Both vegetable dealers believe measures to curtail the importation of farm produce would be good news. In more tonight, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice (SHRAJ) says it observed that primary dealers in the bond issue also doubled as both book runners and transaction advisors. This dual role, it said, gave them an undue advantage. Now, these were contained in its 21-point findings on the $2.25 billion saga. TVT Business takes a look at the issue, examining the work of book runners and transaction advisors.
In investment banking, a book runner is usually the main underwriter or arranger or coordinator in equity or debt securities issuances. They take the orders for the bond sale. Whereas transaction advisors are institutions that do the paperwork for the issuance of bonds, advising on what should be done and as well as putting together the prospectus for the bond. In the issuance of the $2.25 billion bond, institutions that acted as both transaction advisors and book runners were Stanbic Bank, Barclays Bank and SAS. This performance of dual role, according to SHRAJ, gave them an undue advantage, and this situation must be prevented from reoccurring in future issuances. But investment bankers say there is nothing wrong with an institution acting as both transaction advisors and book runners. The managing director of First Bank Brokerage, Edem Akpenyo, said this rather gets the work done quicker.
Personally, I don't see anything wrong. I think it gets the work done quicker. And then because in advising the issuer, they tend to also pick up sentiments from prospective investors. They know who to approach to pick up their security. The flow of the work is easier, and then whoever is raising the security is assured that they can receive the funds that they are looking for. In fact, if a transactions advisor works on your security and then goes on to say that, okay, fine, I'm willing to underwrite the securities that I have advised you to issue. It shows their level of confidence in the work they have done.
Financial analyst Joe Jackson expressed similar sentiments, saying there was nothing wrong with what happened.
The person who is advising you on the transaction is also the one who will go out and take your orders on the transaction. That is the practice in the financial sector for a large number of transactions, and there's nothing wrong. The accusations being leveled that the book runners had contact with the potential buyers even before the auction was open is an accusation that I don't understand. Because what we want out of our book runners and our transaction advisors is to actually go out into the market, make contact with potential buyers, and get their appetite for a transaction.
And government has raised some 1.2 billion Ghana cedis as revenue from the Planting for Food and Jobs program after investing 400 million Ghana cedis into it. The program, which commenced in 2017, has also created 745,000 jobs within the northern regions of the country. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Ifria Akoto, made the observation at a news conference here in Accra.
Government, through the Minister of Agriculture, pumped in 400 million cedis to roll out the Planting for Food and Jobs program in 2017. The program also targeted the creation of 750,000 jobs at its pilot stage. A year on, the program has generated 1.2 billion Ghana cedis as revenue out of its initial target of raising 1.3 billion Ghana cedis.
The produce that were generated, the 485,000 metric tons of maize and the 179,000 tons of rice and the others, if you apply the producer price that they are getting now, you put it all together, we're able to generate in the rural areas 1.2 billion Ghana cedis.
Part of the figure was also used to purchase and supply fertilizer to the tune of 162,000 metric tons to farmers. Under the program, 357,000 hectares of land were used, which created 27,000 jobs. The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Ifria Akoto, was elated about the progress made so far.
134,000 metric tons of fertilizer were applied in 2016, in the last year of the previous regime, that we came and jacked this figure up to nearly 300,000 metric tons. That's 296. So we added 162,000 metric tons more.
The program also recruited 3,000 extension officers and is expected to increase to 500,000 this year. The Planting for Food and Jobs, which focused on the production of maize, rice, soya beans and sorghum, produced more than 485,000 crops. The sector minister again spoke about plans to address issues of post-harvest losses.
This year, we are starting with 50 warehouse construction by the Ministry of Special Initiatives. And we in the ministry are also constructing another 30. So we have 80,000 tons, addition to the 32. Next year in the budget, we will make provision. And gradually, we will come up to the 200,000 so that we can effectively market our crops.
Right, so let's wrap up briefly touching on the Forex to see exactly what is happening. Not much changes there. The city to the major trading currency still remains stable. Good news for the economy, but it wouldn't be good news for you as an individual if you have some dollars and you want to change to cedis. This is because it has remained stable at 4 Ghana cedis, 42 pesos when you're buying and it's being sold to you. Same as the cedi to the Great British Pound, buying at 6 Ghana cedis, 24 pesos, and same for the selling. Well, the selling is at 6 Ghana cedis, 25 pesos, and for that of the cedi to the euro is 5 Ghana cedis, 49 pesos when you're buying it and it's being sold to you. So for the Ghanaian economy, it's some sort of good news, not seeing much changes. But for individuals like Alfred and Solis, it wouldn't be too exciting for the weekend, because if you have dollars and you're changing to cedis, you wouldn't have much on it. That's it for me here.
Well, indeed.
Well, but I mean,
well, but good news for the economy is good news for all of us.
Definitely. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
cities. I mean, yeah, but thank you, Nanekia. The city looks healthy. The Vice President looks healthy. So the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has expressed gratitude to Allah after returning from his medical leave from the UK. Now, after Friday prayers, the Vice President told Muslim faithful good health, in his view, is better than riches. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia joined the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu and hundreds of Muslim faithful to observe the Friday prayers at the Central Mosque at the Boso Kai here in Accra. Addressing the congregation after the prayers, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia told congregants that his recent ill health was a test from Allah. He expressed gratitude to Ghanaians for the prayers.
Let's do some other health-related stories. And the Department of Pathology at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has revealed that 3,000 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer annually, and at least 2,000 women die also annually from the disease. Now, the department said it estimates that 6 million women over the age of 15 are currently at risk of developing cervical cancer in the country. Cervical cancer ranks as the most common cancer afflicting women in Ghana. The World Health Organization has also predicted that by 2019, there would be over 5,000 new cases of cervical cancer in Ghana, and at least 3,300 cervical cancer deaths will occur annually. Against this backdrop, the Department of Pathology of Kolebu Teaching Hospital has launched a seminar in Accra to sensitize the general public about the danger of the disease. The principal nursing officer of the department, Rose Adafo, emphasized the need to create awareness of the disease and to ensure its efficient eradication.
In as much as we want to create the awareness, we can't do it alone. The body who is Reproductive Health Center is just a very small unit in Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And so we need to empower other people, be it the lay perspective or the lay individuals, or including the staff in Kolebu, whether doctors, nurses, or the health service providers, so that everybody will get on board to enhance their education to the public.
She said it is unacceptable for women to die from cervical cancer.
People who start sexual activity as early as maybe 15, 16, 14, 12 years, it means that it is likely, if we don't educate people now, if we don't prevent it now, in the near future, we'll get a generation that have a lot of cervical cancer cases reported.
So let's go back to earlier story with the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, expressing gratitude to Allah after returning from his medical leave from the UK. Muslim faithful, good health is better than riches. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia joined the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu
Shaributu. I'm grateful for their prayers, and I'm happy that I have come back, inshallah, in good health, ready to continue work. When you go around, you take your health for granted. But it is when you don't feel well that you appreciate what God has actually given you. And when God gives you good health, you really have to appreciate it and look after your health. And I'm most grateful for that, because as I was just saying in Hausa, good health is better than riches.
You're still watching News 360. We'll be right back with more news updates after this. Stay with us. Now, welcome back to News 360, and now to some more stories. And some students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism say the removal of top management members of the school is likely to disrupt the 2017-2018 academic calendar. Now, the university's rector, Dr. Wilberforce Gisa, Vice Rector Dr. Ebuafo, and the Registrar Perry Ofosu have all been affected by the latest shakeup. Richard Bright Adhoc has more.
Students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism are on vacation and are expected to resume on the 12th of February. Even before the resumption date, some have had to come to campus upon hearing news about the removal of their rector. The rector, Dr. Wilberforce Gisa, had resumed work on Thursday from his annual leave only to be handed a letter from the university's council directing him to proceed on his 2018 annual leave. He was not the only person affected. His vice rector, Dr. Ebuafo, who was in an acting position, has been directed to go back to the classroom to teach and resume his previous position as a head of department role. The registrar of the institute, Perry Ofosu, has also been ordered to go on leave. Some students fear the latest development may affect academic work.
For us graduating, I think it will have a negative impact on us, because I think if there is a particular month that we are supposed to graduate, but because of this issue, I think they will postpone it, and I think it will not really help us.
It would if there's some wrongdoing somewhere. It would affect the school, but if it's a normal thing, if the investigations come out and everything is normal, I don't think it will affect us in any way.
President of the University Student Representative Council, Martin Thompson Intem, is also worried.
My only problem is as to whether there will be harmony or whether there will be that institutional memory, because these are the three principal officers, and if they are all away, I don't know who talks about what deal had been done and who continues what. I don't know if the memory will be there for them to work. We only hope that it doesn't affect lectures or anything, especially the graduation for the graduate school.
Head of Communication Department of GIJ, Dr. Modestus Fosu, has been directed to act in Dr. Gisa's stead. TV3 News has gathered that Dr. Gisa's tenure of office ends in August this year. On December last year, reports emerged that Dr. Gisa had been ordered to proceed on leave over alleged procurement infractions, but the institute later issued a statement to debunk the said report. It explained at the time that the rector was rather taking part of his annual leave from Wednesday 27th December to Thursday 1st February 2018 to allow for a smooth investigation of some concerns raised, including academic integrity and procurement practices. Students at the School of Graduate Studies and Research at the Ghana Institute of Journalism were supposed to have graduated in January this year, but that graduation did not come off, and it was shifted or moved to March this year. As we speak, the graduation in March has also been cancelled, and so within the coming few weeks, it will be interesting to see what will happen. Richard Brightado, TV3, Accra.
And in entertainment tonight, the countdown to the maiden edition of the 3 Music Awards is on. Now, the question, however, is which group will win the Fan Army of the Year category? Owusu Warai was at Ashiamai, the headquarters of the BIM Nation, to interact with the BIM natives.
The whole of Ghana knows Beam Nation is on top of issues. When it comes to good music, it's Beam Nation. And you know that. Everybody knows it. It's the whole world. Everybody knows Beam Nation. It's not only about Ghana. We are out there. We don't know why we should rest. We are taking this. And they know it.
Fake hype. We are talking about the real tonight. The whole world, our album is number 2.
Yes.
World regular. Which Ghanaian? Which Ghanaian?
So what
no fake hype. Real thing we are talking about.
Watch nobody. Yeah, that's Beam. You should think for. You shouldn't watch nobody. This competition, we are winning it once down. We are not going anywhere. We are winning it once and for all.
Long time and a raga. When we have called 50,000 men gather.
Them must have to tell me I will send them. I will send them. Father God, I go fish them out and we are gonna hang them.
Yeah, we vote for Beam Nation. We are making it. Yeah, we tell the people we should all be ready for it because it's coming to Ashama. We're just waiting for it and it's coming for life. Ah boy, what's up with Beam Nation? Do you think you can win this very award?
Oh, we can win this award because the fan base in Ashama, it's more than enough for us to win the award.
Stoneboy is a very big guy, pass them all.
It is clear for Stoneboy to take it, you know, you understand? Yeah, very clear. Even though we know Shatta is tough, but Stoneboy is the toughest. Yeah. You understand? Beam to the world again! Beam to the world! Beam to assignment! Beam to assignment!
On international front, the 68-year-old son of Cuba's former leader, Fidel Castro, has killed himself in Havana, according to Cuban state media. Fidel Angel Castro Diaz-Balart was found on Thursday morning and is said to have suffered from depression. The firstborn son of the late president was nicknamed Fidelito, or Little Fidel, because of the family resemblance. He was a nuclear physicist trained by the former Soviet Union. And still on international front, the UN's migration agency says 90 migrants are feared drowned after a boat capsized off the Libyan coast. 3 survivors said most of those who drowned were Pakistani nationals. Libya has for over years been a major transit route for migrants trying to reach southern Europe by sea. But last year, the European Union reached a controversial deal to provide help to the Libyan Coast Guard to stop the flow of boats carrying migrants and refugees to Italy. Aid agencies and the United Nations accused European governments of taking an inhuman approach. Amnesty says European Union governments complicit in migrants' torture in Libya. I want to say thank you for spending your 60 minutes with us here on News 360. It's been an interesting journey. On behalf of the rest of the team, we're grateful. My name is Alfred Akonsi.
And I'm Solis Rose Corte. Enjoy your weekend.